Hi guys, hope you are good. I am okay, just about. Steven says, what cap will be worn today? What shirt will be on? Tune in to find out. I like how this is becoming a mystery. I've worn the blue cap partly because Grace doesn't like the blue cap, and I think Grace is going to be out. But Grace is here, so I might have I might have slightly miscalculated that one. The plan was to wear the cap that Grace does not like when Grace is not here. So then that way I get away with it. But it looks like I have not gotten away with that. In terms of what shirt, that's also a good question. I try to mix up the colors. So if I've worn red last time, I won't wear red again. If I've worn black last time, I won't wear black again. That seems to be a approach that works for me. Charlotte says, hi, how you doing, Charlotte? Grace does not approve of the cap. Are you going out today? I think you might have said you were going out today, but I'm not sure. But I hope you are good. I'm ready to see Liverpool pass it around the back for 2 hours. Jonathan says, hi, it's me, Johnny. I figured that was you. I'm not quite sure what gave it away, but I did figure that. How are you doing? Hope you're good. The Man U fan. You're not a Man U fan. You're a Chelsea fan. I'm with Ash at her house right now. Good stuff. Sounds good. Nayob says, finally United beat City. Yeah, that was a bit of a surprise, 2-0. And apparently it wasn't just a 2-0. Apparently they dominated the game, which is interesting, but also kind of expected. They've got a new manager. They've gotten rid of their three at the back formation. By the way, they've just kicked off. They've gotten rid of their old formation, new manager. Let's see how long it lasts for. In the most ideal scenario, this good form lasts sufficient time so that they give Carrick a long-term deal. and then once they give him a long-term deal, then we will see things drop. Who do you want to win the league, says Ibrahim? I mean, I want Liverpool to win the league. That's very, very unlikely. If it's not Liverpool, I'd rather City win it. If it's not City, I'd rather not Arsenal. If it's not City, I'd rather Villa win it. But after that, I'd probably not be too fussed. How about you? Who do you want to win? Yeah, it was a bit of a shock, but new manager bounce is to be expected, to be honest. Yeah, we've been out to take the dogs out at the dog park. Then we went for a meal. Good stuff. What did you have for your meal? Anything good? Jonathan, you are not a Man United fan. You are a Chelsea fan. But yeah, they've kicked off. So let's see if we can do the timer. I just want to see something vaguely exciting today. People have been I think people have been exaggerating Liverpool's performances recently. Yeah, they've had a couple of good performances, but one good performance was against Wolves. And let's be honest, Wolves are rubbish. And Another good performance was against Barnsley, who are in the third tier. So I do think people have been kind of overhyping Liverpool's performances recently. They only seem to perform well against the rubbish teams, to be honest. Ooh, Kirkes. Oh, bro, why did he pass that? He's got the Robertson disease. He was right next to the goalkeeper. Just kick it. He was less than a meter away from the goalkeeper. And when you're that close, just to smash it. But he decided to try and cross it, and when he tried to cross it, the defender cleared it. That is annoying as hell. Niab says, good day for football fans. United win and Madrid win. Oh, who did Madrid win? Who did Madrid play today? They've sacked Alonso. They've got Arbeloa now, haven't they? Reluctant Gamer says, hey, how you doing? Hope you are good. Any new games recently? I've just been playing Call of Duty, to be honest. And that garbage boxing game, which I'm about to give up on. I despise that. I despise that boxing game with a passion. Is broken. I feel like the hitbox for the character is not the same place where the character is. And I thought I was crazy, so I googled it, and lots of people are saying it. But Call of Duty is okay. I had my favorite food, pasta and tomato sauce and chocolate fudge cake. That does sound pretty good, to be fair. The chocolate fudge cake in particular. Grace says, when's your next live? It's going to be next Saturday or next Sunday. Whenever the next Liverpool game is. So I'm going to Budapest on Tuesday, which means I'm going to miss the Marseille game, but I'll be back on the weekend. Liverpool showed up against Arsenal, but a top form Liverpool team would still be Arsenal. That is true. Unfortunately, this bunch have not been in top form for a while. I just want to see something. I just want to see something from this team today. They don't have to win. I mean, of course, it's ideal if they win. But if they don't win, at least entertain everybody. And if they can't entertain everybody, just make people laugh. Just have some sort of net positive from watching this bunch. You can tell how enthused I was to watch this game today. Undisputed, I play 3 fights and turn it off. Yeah, same. I've concluded the hitbox for the character is not in the same place where the character is. Like, there'll be a guy standing there, right, with a high guard like this. I'm right next to him. I go for a body hook and it misses. And I've got full stamina. I'm Roy Jones. And I'm like, this game is trash. 7 Enthusiast says, why is Kirkes not shooting? He has the Robertson disease. So I was crying about that earlier. He was about, would you say he was a meter? He wasn't even a meter away from the goal. He was maybe half a meter away from the goal, and he should have just smashed it. Just smash it and it'll probably go in. And the guy has the Robertson disease, which is, even when it's a shooting opportunity, he'll try and cross it, and then when that happened, it got cleared. Grace will never miss alive unless she is not alive. Did you see the play on words there? I hope that play on words was vaguely impressive. I play Black Ops 7 also. Yeah, it's alright. It still doesn't top Modern Warfare from a couple of years back. I really miss the Riot Shield. You remember the Riot Shield, which I think they had in Modern Warfare 2019. I really miss having that Riot Shield, but they don't seem to include it in Black Ops, which is a bit annoying. But it's alright. It's alright. The season 1 reloaded maps, they're a lot better than the launch maps. I'm looking forward to Resident Evil. Me too. Nayab says Madrid win against Levante, 19th position in the points table. Well, that is their standard now. Do you think Arbeloa is gonna be there permanently? As in, do you think he's gonna get a long-term contract, or do you think they will replace him in the summer? I'm surprised nobody's cried about Mark Gahey yet. that's what I was expecting. When you game, do you use headphones? I have got headphones. The thing is, I'm very sensitive to heat, so I don't like my head being hot. So I've bought some expensive headphones that are open back headphones, which means they get less hot. But I use them sometimes, but sometimes I can't be bothered, to be honest. Grace was expecting the white hat. I think I had the white hat last time. Oh no, I remember we were talking about this. It was supposed to be the Adidas white hat, wasn't it? Dang. To be honest, it's just there. I could grab it. I could grab it for the second half. You prefer Black Ops 6? Fair enough. I find Black Ops 6 and 7 similar. But yeah, that's the one I missed. Modern Warfare 2019. You know the shipment, which was that tiny map. I do miss that. Yeah, I had the feeling. I thought you wouldn't be here, which is why I wore the blue cap. I don't know, says I forgot to say, what's your thoughts on Mark Gay joining City? To be honest with you, I'm not surprised. I feel like Liverpool's opportunity was last year. And what seems to have happened is Man City, they desperately needed a defender. So they went for Gay and they offered him 300 grand a week. And I don't think Liverpool were going to match that 300 grand a week. So unfortunately, Liverpool were probably priced out. But it is fair to say it is Liverpool's fault for that happening. Because if Liverpool had been a bit more proactive in the summer, they would not have been priced out. Unfortunately, they were not proactive in the summer. So by the time January came around, the price changed. And the price is the price of the wages, not the price of the transfer. It's kind of crazy from Palace's perspective. So Crystal Palace, they lost out on £15 million just to have him an extra few months. You know, they made a huge deal about it, about wanting to keep him. And the price in the summer was 35 million, and now they've got 20 million. So in effect, they paid 15 million pounds for what, a 4 or 5 month loan. Grace says, "Where's Fish?" That is a good question. I'm sure he will make a appearance very soon. He did say hi at the start, to be fair. Niab doesn't think Arbeloa, I've combined his two names there, does not think Arbeloa is going to be permanent. I agree. How much hair dye is Arbeloa using? Like, have you seen? His beard is completely pitch black and his hair is completely pitch black. I literally think he uses like a full box. Sabazlai header goes wide. I literally feel like he uses a full box every week. But yeah, outside of the hair dye question, I agree. I don't think it'll be a permanent appointment. Apparently, Klopp might go there. Yes, my ears get hot with headphones. Yeah, mine too. There is the ones that I've got are called open back headphones. So it's a certain type of headphone that gets less hot. The downside is they are more expensive. But the open back headphones, they are generally a lot cooler than just the normal ones. United beating City was not on my bingo card. It was also not on my bingo card, but I guess kinda to be expected, given the new manager bounce. They should have played Kushanov instead of buying our main target. That's how Man City move. They have what's the word? No apprehension about buying expensive players in January. They did the same thing last year. They got no problem with dropping 200 million in January to bridge a gap. Grace says, "Can you grab the other hat?" I will. I'll try and grab that for the second half. Zame says, "Hi, how's it going, Zame? I predict it's not going well. I predict you will not be particularly happy about the Mark Gahey news." I had a feeling this would happen when we were talking about it last time. But to be honest, I can't act like I knew for certain. I think I was saying, I think he'll go to Liverpool, and if he doesn't go to Liverpool, he'll go to City. So I can't act like I knew for definite, but I did have a suspicion. Yeah, he did already complete his medical at Liverpool. We should ask for a refund. we should invoice him, send him the receipt. That's only fair, right? Oh, is Glasner leaving in a few days? I thought he was leaving at the end of the season. I presume he's probably going to leave at the end of the season when his deal is up. Also, apparently Isak is back in March, so I'm looking forward to that. But to be honest with you, I don't think Liverpool are going to buy anybody this transfer window. I appreciate they bought a couple of kids. There was that Senegalese defender and a couple of other defenders. But I don't think they're going to spend any serious money, to be honest with you. Autistic Jude says Isak is the worst signing of the season. It's a tricky one though, because he's just been injured so frequently. I just want to see the guy play. I almost feel like you can't really judge a signing unless he's played, if you know what I mean. I want to see him back. I want to see him put a run of games together. But whether that will happen, who knows? I low-key forgot, but it said he's leaving in a few... Yeah, I reckon he'll be off... I reckon he'll be off at the end of the year. Or at the end of the season, should I say. Zame is actually not fussed. Same, to be honest. I was a bit like, whatever. Naturally, whenever Liverpool lose out on anything, people start screaming and losing the will to live. There's plenty of centre-backs in the sea, and we are not desperate to get him since we aren't title challenging. No point doing any business in this inflated window. Yeah, I'd say I'm a bit disappointed not to get him, but not overly heartbroken or not overly not on the verge of a mental breakdown, should we say. Apparently Liverpool might be in for Schlotterbeck, they might be in for a couple of others, but yeah, I don't think it's going to happen in January. And to be honest with you, the impression I get is that they've kind of written this season off. Unfortunately. I think they're just hoping for a top 4. And if they get a top 4, they might buy somebody in summer. If they don't get a top 4, then they'll make a managerial change. Because I know for most fans, the ultimate goal is to win the league. But to be honest, for the owners and for the hierarchy, the goal is probably top 4. Champions League and all that. Grace says, where's Jonathan and Fist? Jonathan was saying that he supports United now. Jonathan seems he's changed his club on a weekly basis. He used to support Chelsea, then he supported Arsenal for a week, and then he went back to Chelsea, and now he's a United fan. So it becomes quite hard to follow. I don't know. Is unhappy we didn't get Gahey. I hate having to watch Konate week in, week out. That is true. That is true. Konate seems a bit better since the Madrid rumours. Konate seems a bit better since the Madrid rumours have cooled down. There was that time where the Madrid rumours were quite intense, and it looked like Konate's head was already in Madrid. But since Madrid basically said, you know what, we don't want him. Since then, he's been a bit better. If that's any sort of comfort. His 300k a week wages plus signing on fee plus transfer fee, not worth breaking our wage structure for. He's only 6'2", and with our set piece deficiencies, would prefer a better profile. I think that's fair. I think something that people. Oh my God, what's Kirkes doing? All good. It was just a sloppy back pass, but it's been sorted. But yeah, I think Zayn made a good point. A lot of people are losing their minds at the £20 million figure, and they're like, "Oh my God, bro, we can't pay £20 million, bro. What's this club doing, bro? I'm having a mental breakdown, bro. 20 million, bro." But what people forget is the financial outlay is not just the transfer fee; it's also the wages. And in addition to the wages, it is also the impact of those wages. So in this case, the effect on the effect on the wage structure. So I think all of that needs to be taken into account. I think a criticism that you could levy is, why didn't Liverpool sort this in the summer when it was a respectable wage? Why did they leave it until the last day? Like that I can understand. But prices change. You go to the shop, and then you go to the shop a month later, and suddenly everything's more expensive. And that seems to have been what has happened there. So yeah, I'd say given what the facts were in January, and Liverpool are saying they were not in for him, but to be honest, they probably were. But to be honest with you, what probably happened is Mark Gahey's agent probably said, "Look, City are offering us 300 grand a week. What can you guys offer?" And Richard Hughes probably said, "We can offer you 100 grand a week and a packet of crisps. Will you take that?" And then Mark Gahey's agent said no. So fortunately, it is what it is. Mr. Default says, United. I had a feeling you'd be particularly happy today. I didn't see the game, but apparently you didn't just beat them, you absolutely battered them. So that's a good sign. Hopefully Carrick gets a long-term deal. Actually, to be fair, I shouldn't be sarcastic. Shouldn't be hating. I think I can just say, you know what? Good for them. Grace says, you had a good day. It was all right. I woke up at about 7 because I'm going to Budapest next week, and I've had to do laundry. I had to put my hoodie in the laundry because it's absolutely freezing. So I've got a lot of stuff to get through. So I had to wake up a bit earlier today. Played a bit of Call of Duty. Did a bit of Gakpo heads it over. Well, why is Gakpo still a thing? But I'm not gonna moan about Gakpo again. But yeah, not bad. How about you? You mentioned you went out. You had pasta with tomato sauce, which is pretty good, and you also had a chocolate fudge cake. Sounds like a good day out. Does your friend also watch football, or is that just you? Charlotte says, why did the fish blush? Because it saw the ocean's bottom. That is pretty good. Who would you want Liverpool to buy if you could have anybody in the team? Dang. That's a bit of a loaded question, you know. The easy answer, I mean, some people might say Mbappe. I wouldn't want him because of his attitude. It's something I'd have to kind of think about. He battered them. Yeah, I heard. Jonathan is here. Says, hi, it's me, Johnny. Do you have two accounts then? Because you've got one account that is Shadow Guy and you've got this one as well. Zaim says, I don't understand the sale of Kwanzaa. Promising young talent. Sure, he made a few mistakes, but every young centre-back does. I hear ya. I thought I'll be totally honest. I thought Kwanzaa was decent, but I did have some concerns about his speed. Like he just never felt rapid to me, and Liverpool are a team who seem to be intent on playing a high line, and I think if you're going to play a high line, you need a rapid centre back. But on the flip side, he was very young. So it did seem maybe a bit premature. It was a bit of a surprise because it was only 35-40 million, and I was thinking, do you really need 35-40 million that desperately? I understand that they've put a buyback clause in, but it was a bit of a surprise when it happened. I was like, oh, okay, fair enough, but surprising nevertheless. Grace says, but you haven't seen me or anyone else who's made your day good. I did see the jokes you tagged me in, which I appreciate. And you know, when you were asking why have you specifically said 23, I was trying to figure that out, but I couldn't. I couldn't figure that out. Grace says, it's been good. No, just me. Fair enough. Arsenal says, hey, how you doing? Hope you are doing good. Are you still in Singapore, or are you jet setting? I will be jet setting next week. She supports Newcastle. Nice. I mean, even Arsenal agrees. I didn't see the United game. I saw the result, and then I saw some of the discussion around it, and everybody was saying United battered them. But if an Arsenal fan is saying it should have been 6-0, then I think we need to take that seriously because he has no reason to be biased. I mean, I guess all you can say is, you know what, fair play, well done. I do take a bit of comfort. Oh, I thought that went in. I do take a bit of comfort in it being new manager bounce, and it being that typically gives a bit of a extra boost. But I'd feel like I'd be being a bit too much of a hater if I just put it down to that and said, you know what, new manager bounce, whatever. I would give credit where it's due. Like I didn't see the game, but everybody is saying they absolutely battered them. So fair play. Jonathan says, hi. Are you switching between Twitch and YouTube? Charlotte says, you're such a bright person. I don't know about that. Arsenal says, Gahey is a steal at 20 million. It is a very good price for a Premier League proven centre-back who is 25, which I think is the perfect age for a centre-back. Also, given that centre-backs traditionally mature at a later age, I think 25 for an English centre-back with Premier League experience as a captain for 20 million is a bargain. What is not a bargain is the wages. And I believe the wages is potentially why Liverpool would have pulled out of the deal. But yeah, City. I think City have got a good player, and with what's his name, Diaz injured, it's probably what they needed. From my perspective, I'm a bit disappointed Liverpool didn't get him, but Given that his wages are 300 grand a week, I understand. I'm more disappointed, to be honest, that they didn't sort the deal in the summer. Because in the summer, he was not asking 300 grand a week. So I'd say I'm more disappointed they didn't sort it in the summer rather than not getting him now. Grace says, is being on TikTok 4 hours per day bad? Not necessarily. What I find is TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, all of those, I think they've replaced TV. People don't really watch TV anymore. So if you think about it, if you're on TikTok instead of watching TV, then you've probably just substituted. And you did mention you did go out today. You went out to eat. So I think you've got a good balance going on. Zames says Kanate made Frimpong. Apologies, absolutely nothing happened. Kanate made way more mistakes this season, and Slot has always backed him. That is true. Kwanzaa had one bad game versus Ipswich. That seemed a bit harsh. I won't lie. To pull a defender off at half time seemed a bit harsh. It could have been the way I always interpreted that is, when you're new in a job. So Ipswich game was Slot's first game. When you're new in a job and you really want to, put the stamp down and be like, yeah, I'm the boss kind of thing. That's what that felt like to me. It was more a human psychology thing in terms of he wanted to show, what, I'm the boss, I'm new, I call the shots. These multi-million-pound players, which Kwanzaa wasn't really one of, but I'm going to show to these players that if you're no good, I'm going to take you off. That's kind of how I interpreted it. But now he's not new in the job. He's there a year later. And typically when you're there a year later, you start slouching a bit. Suddenly things are perhaps not as important as they once were. So that's how I interpret that. I interpret that as more of a human thing. But I could be completely wrong. How you doing? I have high hopes for this match. I won't lie. Good to hear. I'm hoping for a win at the very least. Do you have a score prediction? I'd take a 1-0. But to be honest with you, I just want to be entertained. But as always, the chat is a lot more interesting than the game. 300 grand a week apparently. You found me on Twitch. See if you can find me on YouTube. Actually, you'll probably see it. You'll probably see it in the comments. I'm everywhere. I was gonna say I'm hiding in the closet, but I thought that might come out wrong. But I'm everywhere. Yeah, City could have done with him. Today. My balls is starting to throb due to being cracked a nose by an angry teenager. That's not good. I hope you're doing okay. There is never an excuse for violence. I was gonna say unless the person is Cody Gakpo, but that's probably shouldn't say that. But I hope you're doing okay. Grace says, "Is it a good match today or is it boring?" To be honest, the standard affair, but Liverpool have got a penalty, and I don't know how because I was reading the chat. But Szoboszlai is standing over the ball. I don't know how that happened, to be honest. I was more feeling sorry for Steven. Szoboszlai standing over the ball. Oh my God! It's missed. Oh, I was so sad. I was so ready to celebrate. I was so ready to celebrate that. And the guy hit the bar. He absolutely smacked it. He absolutely smashed the penalty against the bar. and he's missed. Arsenal says, how's Liverpool doing? Just missed the penalty, so life could be better, to be honest with you. Arsenal says, for me, it's insane how some of these United fans are saying United is back. Yeah, they tend to have memories. When I say they, other than Mr. Default, he's one of the few United fans I like. But but yeah, tend to have very short memories. The thing is, if you're saying United are back, then when they are not back, then surely you can't complain about Ineos or the Glazers because you said they were back. And if they are back, surely they are doing well. Then that doesn't give you the ability to complain about everything. And the thing is, and this is more of a football fan thing rather than a United fan thing, but why does everything always have to be in extremes? Why can a team be back or be completely in the mud? Why can it not just be a positive sign that we hope to build on? People just love to deal in extremes. WTF was that Frimpark? To be honest, I missed it. I'm trying to catch up on the chat. I'm doing a terrible job today. I can't lie. Debatable penalty. I didn't even see it, but I'm happy to go with that. Mr. Default's being ironic, to be fair, which makes it funny. I was riding a bike, wasn't looking where I was going. I mean, you have that in common with Sabazlai then. Because Sabazlai was also not looking where he's going. Lord have mercy, no way he missed. Indeed, Lord have mercy for my patience, which is going to run out a lot earlier today. Yeah, it was a terrible penalty, wasn't it? Do I pronounce your name? Is your name pronounced Isabel, or is that the incorrect pronunciation? I just don't want to get it wrong. Oh wow, that's not ideal, but I hope you're feeling better. Hopefully Liverpool can cheer you up at the very least today, because that is not good. So Bosley does have a good penalty ratio and a good penalty record. I believe before he had joined Liverpool, he had never missed a penalty in his life. And if you're ever bored, go on YouTube and search Sabazlai Neymar, where they had this whole discussion where Neymar tried to put him off on a penalty and Sabazlai's response was, I never miss. I'm sorry, Dominic. On the 17th of January, you have missed. I have a feeling this is Jonathan. Wirtz, that was a good shot. That was a very good shot. But saved. Grace says, want your daily joke of the day? I do, provided the daily joke is not Liverpool. Isabel says, it's correct. Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. I will remember that. They complained that Ineos made a mistake and now it's like, wow, Carrick is the best. Oh, corner. Well, let's hope then. Let's hope they give Carrick a long-term contract. I mean, I don't want to be a hater too much, but this does seem to represent the Ollie Solskjaer situation. Whereby it was new manager bounce, give him a long-term contract, and then things go downhill. I have a feeling you are, Johnny. James says, Sabazlai, I think, thrives when doing the simple things. His lack of creativity as an attacking midfielder is why we got Wirtz, and as a six, he suffers from brain farts when playing out, clunky with dribbling. Indeed, it's like, did I just say indeed? That is posh even for me. You know, when you're creating a character on a computer game, I feel like all the physical stats, they put those on full. Whereas the technical stats, they run out of points at that point. So they didn't have much left over. He's an athlete. He's a machine. But he's not a silky creative footballer. So I think Zame's analysis is fair. Isabel says it's a Latin progenitor. What does that word mean? Does that mean pronunciation? A person or thing from which a person or animal is descended, right? So that means where it originates from. Like Isabel amongst others. Nice. I've learned something today. I'm liking that. Mr. Default says, hoping for Chelsea and Burnley wins today to stay in top 4, even for 1 week. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't want you in top 4, but at least I'm honest about it. But equally, again, I didn't see the game, but apparently you battered City. So if you battered City, as much as I don't like it, it feels like you deserve to be there. So I can't be too much of a hater. I should be a politician. I mean, look how democratic I am. Look how I say things. Kirkes, nothing's gonna happen. Sabo off the ball and directness is great, says Zame. Curtis Jones' ball retention and dribbling is great. If they combine, they would be the best midfielder ever seen. Yes, what we need them to do is to have a baby. I don't know if Curtis Jones has a sister or Szoboszlai has a sister. But that is the plan. They need to get together. And then I think Liverpool are sorted. Carrick is the GOAT, says Jonathan. Carrick will stay and get fired halfway through next season. There is a good chance that could happen. Mo Scout is on Twitch. I can actually see the room here. Good to hear. You can see all the lights. You can see all the decoration. You can see the Star Wars poster. The thing is, on YouTube there's 2 streams. There's a horizontal stream and there's a vertical stream. If you're ever bored, go on my YouTube page and you will see there are 2 streams. Ah yes, because you were on YouTube Shorts, yeah. So YouTube Shorts is the vertical stream. But YouTube, I believe, if you're on your computer, you can see the horizontal stream. Isabel prefers it on here. Good stuff. Is your real name Leo? I've been calling you Jonathan for the past 8 months. I feel like this is information that should have come out previously, but good to know. Do you want me to call you Leo or Jonathan? Arsenal says, yes, new manager bans, I agree, but Carrick had the right players on the field. Always said that Amorim is dumb for now adapting first before requesting. Yeah, I agree. My beef, I liked Amorim as a person, but my beef with him was always his system. And it felt like a lot of Man United fans' beef with him was always his system. The whole 5 at the back system was whack because ultimately it meant he just had 2 in the middle. And I would often compare Amorim's system to a ring donut. You know the donuts with the hole in the middle? That's what I often thought Amorim's system was. Which is a bigger problem in the Premier League, given how physical the Premier League is. But unfortunately, those times are up. They're going to start playing 4-3-3 now. So that's disappointing for me and for Arsenal. Wirtz! Ooh, Wirtz has scored! Wirtz has scored! Are we, and not we, I was going to say, are we ready to stop saying Wirtz is a flop? I never said he was a flop. I was saying the guy just needs to adapt. But Wirtz has smacked it into the back of the goal. I don't know who's very happy about that. Who got the assist? It was a cutback. It was a cutback to Wirtz. Wirtz was inside the box and absolutely smashed it in. I'm liking that. This is more like it. This is much better. This is much better. Isabel says City got owned. Honestly, lovely. I like the cat nodding thing at the end. Yeah, I'm also like, fair play. I mean, I can hate on it, and part of me wants to hate on it, but realistically, I'm like, you know what? Fair play. You didn't just fluke it. Of course, there's the whole conversation on whether this is new manager bounce, but it feels unfair to kind of rain on their parade. But I'm only saying this because Mr. Default is here. If Mr. Default was not here, I'd be saying F Man United, F them all. Jonathan has a sister. Her name is Slim Shady. Is she the real Slim Shady? And does she need to stand up? How do you make a robot angry? Keep pushing his buttons. I must be a robot as well then. It was 3 at the back, but I feel like they were trying. To be honest, I felt like they were trying to make it sound a bit sexier than it actually was. I felt like it was 5-2-3. So I felt the 2 wing backs were a bit more back, but it's open to interpretation. It's open to interpretation. Wirtz more than Saka. I'm liking the. I was gonna say the change of opinion on Wirtz, but to be fair, I think most people were just messing around when they were kind of hating on him earlier. I just feel like people were just joking. I don't think they actually meant it. But I'm glad he's settling in. I'm glad he's settling in. Isabel says he just needed to acclimatize. This is Florian Wirtz. I agree. I think even though he had an expensive price tag, I think we forget sometimes he's 22, which is basically a child. And he's moving to a foreign country for the first time. He's moving to a new league. Sometimes these things take a bit of time. And everybody has a different opinion. Me personally, I don't give up on a player until it's been 2 years. That's just the way I am. Like Nunes as an example, I'd fully given up on him. But I think a player, and in particular a foreign player, needs 2 years at the very least. Mo Scout wants Arbeloa out. I thought you were a United fan. He lost my respect the first match. He had Mbappe, Vini, Bellingham, Arda, Valverde, and he didn't use any of them. He had a golden team and he lost against. Yeah, this is the cup. This is the cup, wasn't it? That was a surprise. That was a surprise because that team they went out to was absolute dog trash. So let's see how it goes for him. There's some rumors Klopp might be going there, and we've seen crazier things happen because Klopp has managed in. I was going to say Japan. Klopp has managed in Germany. He's managed in England. Come on, Liverpool, score! Gakpo. Liverpool don't score because Gakpo touched the ball. I need to stop hating on this guy. Yeah, you have been a big fan of Wirtz. Grace says, yay. Arsenal says, Wirtz comes alive when Salah's not playing. I'm just saying that's what I noticed. That might be a good observation, to be fair. I didn't think of that. I did not think of that at all, but I think that might be a good observation. Since Salah has been away, Wirtz has been. I've been thinking about it. That's a good point. Hopefully it's just a coincidence, but apparently Salah will be back soon, so we will test that theory out. But in terms of an observation, I hadn't thought about that, but you might be onto something. It is half time, as I don't know says. Yeah, Copa del Rey. Jonathan likes Liverpool. They are a good club, even though I'm a Man U fan. Appreciate that, Jonathan. Isabel's going for a 3-1. What would I go for? It feels wrong of me to make a prediction now because I've already seen that Liverpool have scored. But my prediction before the game had started was 1-0. So let's see. I know it's less likely to be 1-0 since it's 1-0 at half time, but just being honest, my prediction at the start of the game was 1-0. Mo Scout says, wait, watch your words, bro. Did I hear you right? You said something about United. I did, but I've only been saying nice things. I think sometimes you panic whenever I say United. You think it's something bad. I've been saying, I've been saying nice things. I think I've been nice. All we have to do is win and go clear. I can't lie. I hope that doesn't happen. But I am starting to get a bit worried now because my prediction, just to be totally honest and transparent, was if Liverpool don't win the league, I think City will probably win the league. I think they'll strengthen in January, which is what they have done, and it's something they've never been cautious to do. It's something they've always done in the past. They'll always spend a bunch of money in January to bridge the gap. And they bought Semenyo, they're going to get Mark Gay. But I can't lie, I'm a bit worried about you now. Slightly, very slightly. I mean, moderately, I'd say. I'm moderately concerned. Ash was not impressed with your joke about the robots, about pushing buttons on robots. I thought it was good. I thought it was a good joke. It's half time. I can't be bothered to stop the timer, but I will in a bit. Most Galt is a United fan that loves Madrid. Does that mean that Cristiano Ronaldo is your favourite player ever? Based on that. Or it could be David Beckham. Which other players have played for United and Madrid? David Beckham, Cristiano Ronaldo, Michael Owen. Gabriel Heinze. Shit, yeah, Varane. I forgot about that one. Casemiro. Since you said Varane, Casemiro. Yeah, I got that one. But to be fair, that's cheat. I kind of because you said Varane, then it registered in my head Casemiro. But I predict most Galt is a Ronaldo fan. Yeah, so apparently, Grace, Jonathan's real name is Leo. And I'm thinking, you just told me this now after I've been calling you Jonathan for the past half a year? What other? Oh yeah, I forgot about him. Forgot about Angel. Forgot about Angel. Zaim is worried about how Ekitike would cope with the physicality, but he is thriving. I'll be honest, Ekitike is another one I was completely wrong on. I thought it was insane that Liverpool was spending all this money on a bang average Frankfurt player. And I was like, guys, I've watched the highlights. I don't see anything special about him. But proves how much I know. It's very little. Wirtz is coming into his own, but I feel like he and Gakpo are stepping on each other's toes. Well, there's two options there. Either you get rid of Gakpo or you get rid of Gakpo's toes. But if you were to get rid of Gakpo's toes, he might find it a bit harder to run. Not that he runs right now. So probably the former solution is probably the cleaner and the more legal solution. I guess because they're both kind of left-sided-ish, and they both kind of love cutting inside-ish. They can occupy the same positions. I think you're correct. Maybe that's something they need to work on. Grace says you're gonna wear the other hat now. I think it's over there somewhere. I will grab that. You want me to grab it? I'm gonna have a look if it's there, and if it's not there, then I might not be able to. Give me a second. Okay, it wasn't there. It wasn't where I thought it was. So then I went upstairs and it wasn't there. So then I went downstairs, it wasn't there. And then I found it. I might do this more often because it's nice and cold. It's actually nice and cold, which is really nice. So I think Grace might have stumbled upon a magic solution to keep my head nice and cool. I might carry on doing this, changing hats at half time. I like Christian's solution about putting Rio on. Whenever Rio gets on the ball, opposition defenders look absolutely petrified, and I love his skills. I love his aggression. I love his pace. I love his trickery. So I would be happy. I would be happy to see him. 100%. Let me catch up. What is your favorite type of coffee? Oh, just plain black Americano, no milk, no sugar, just plain. Who is Jonathan? That's you. Isabel is like, nah, City can get effed. You can start off to Oilchester. What's happening with their 115, 116, 100, 523, 462 charges? What's happening with that? Mr. Defoe is saying, look at the United City stats. I mean, I kind of don't want to because apparently they were very favourable, but I feel like I must. Statistics. Give me a sec. Oh, I just need to refresh this to make it work. There you go. Okay. 32% possession versus 68% possession, but to be fair, that doesn't matter too much. It matters more what you do with it. 2 expected goals versus half. 6 big chances versus none. That is quite revealing. Total shots, I'm not too fussed on. City made 5 saves versus United's 1. City did a lot of passes, but United did a lot of tackles. Yeah, it's pretty good performance. I think that big chances statistic in particular is perhaps the most damning. I'm gonna have to watch this back. I'm gonna have to watch back the highlights or some sort of summary of this today because it seems everybody's going on about this. I'm gonna have to watch this back. Mo Scalt is a Ronaldo fan, and apparently Ronaldo is a Mo Scalt fan. Apparently. Let me catch up. Steven says the throbbing nose has subsided slightly. That's good to hear. I'm glad you are feeling slightly better. Reminder: Budapest, long walk on the west side of the Danube River. You can do a good 12 miles if you start in the south of the city. Sounds like a plan. Sounds like a plan. My hotel is right on the Danube River on the left side, so on the west side, and I have got that. I have got a lot of walking planned, so look forward to losing a bit of weight because I've put a bit of weight on because I was sick past week. But yeah, I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to it 100%. Jonathan is a regular. Oh my God, Van Nistelrooy, yeah, Van Nistelrooy. I forgot about that. But I think United was probably the peak of his career. But yeah, he did play for Real Madrid as well. Also, if you like saunas, go to the baths. Yeah, they are very big on baths there in Budapest. I think the baths might be frozen at the moment, but they are very popular. Chicharito, yeah, Chicharito. I forgot about him as well. Um, but we must have covered the majority. I was very happy to get Michael Owen because I was like, oh yeah, what Michael Owen? But there's some like Chicharito that are even better. Carreras, dang, we're going deep now. Steven says my real name is not Steven. That's okay. If you don't mind me calling you Steven, then that's good. But if you want me to call you something else, that's I'm happy to do that. I'm not gonna read that out. I'll say I was gonna say GGMU, but I was gonna say I'm not gonna say GGMU, but in saying I'm not gonna say, I inadvertently said. West Ham are 1-0 up against Spurs. Oh, Spurs are having a terrible time. No matter how bad your life is and no matter how bad your football team is, I'm always happy not to be Spurs. Grace says, thank you, Umar. No problem. I think you've stumbled onto a really good solution because this hat was so cold because I hadn't been wearing it, whereas this one had gotten really hot. So I think I might continue to switch them at half time because it's nice and cold, and you know how much I love the cold. Now, I could take it really far and also change my shirt at half time, but I think that would be too far because that would give me excessive laundry. Jonathan says nice hat, but also that he's not Jonathan. I heard you had 3 goals ruled out. Was it Adogu, Fernandez, and I don't know after that because that's when I had a shower. But yeah, I need to watch this back. There you go. Grace was asking where is Fish. Here is Fish. You don't need to apologize. But how are you doing, Fish? Hope you are good. Isabel has provided context on the charges for Sitter. A private hearing took place in front of an independent panel. I wonder how independent they were across 10 weeks between September 2024 and December 2024. So a 3-month. They said, guys, let's do the panel, and then it's Christmas, New Year, and then we can't be bothered after that. That's what happened there. The 115 charges that City have been accused of, some reports suggest the number is closer to 130, are alleged to have occurred between 2009 and 2018. Interesting. I'm curious to see what the result is of that and what the outcome is. To be honest, I doubt they'll get more than a slap on the wrist, but let's see. Fish is sad. Why are you sad, Fish? Oh, you do hate shopping, to be fair. You have mentioned this before. Where were you shopping? Were you in Tesco, which is your favorite supermarket, or were you in a different store? Sesko, no minutes. Did what's his name? Cunha? Did Cunha get any time? Most undeserving Ballon d'Or, Michael Owen. Michael Owen, when he was 18, was amazing. From what I remember, back in the day, Ballon d'Or wasn't that big a deal as it is now. Like now with social media and all that, it gets hyped up. But I think, and I don't know if I'm remembering this wrong, but I swear it wasn't that big a deal back then, which could be why which could be why Owen won it. Fish hates me. Well, we know that's not true. The word strike, baby, is that a wrestling thing, baby? The word strike was beautiful. It was very beautiful. Absolutely smashed it into the goal. And the thing is about him smashing it, it just shows a level of confidence. I feel like if you are not a confident player, you don't do that kind of a shot. So I'm liking it. Second half is starting. And also, why haven't you done your predictions this week? I was checking for your predictions, but you haven't done your predictions this week. Fish says, go to Hungary. I'm going on Tuesday. Grace is 8 now, number 1. Mbuemo came off 63 minutes and Cunha came on. Of the 3 striker signings then, is there a general consensus on what the ranking is? To me, it feels like the ranking is Mbuemo was the best one, Cunha's the second best one, and Sesko's the least best. Fish hates me, lol. Fish seems to be having a bad day. He's not a fan of shopping. He gets dragged to the shops, but I don't think he particularly enjoys it. That's the vibe I get. Yeah, and he also despises McAllister. Oh wow, okay, so Dogu is playing a left wing. So he used to play left wing back. He's left. I need to see this game. It just sounds like the weirdest game ever. In terms of the result, in terms of the performance, in terms of the setup. I just need to watch it this evening. I'll be honest, I won't watch the full game, but I will try checking out the highlights. Isabel says Salah and Van Dijk deserve the Ballon d'Or. Owen didn't. I think Van Dijk in particular. But actually no. I think you're right. Yes, Salah and Van Dijk. So I think Salah deserved it last year, and Van Dijk deserved it that couple of years ago when he came second. I think unfortunately for Van Dijk, at that time, it was very difficult to break the Ronaldo and Messi monopoly. I appreciate he broke it to a certain degree. He inserted himself into the middle of a Messi and Ronaldo sandwich. I appreciate that sounds wrong, but I did not mean that in a wrong context. So he did kind of break the monopoly. But just to fully break it, it just felt impossible. But I'd say Van Dijk deserved it in that year, and Salah deserved it last year. Not that I'm biased, but I don't think I am biased. Fish is not in the mood. Fish is unhappy. Mr. Default says, oh, that just went wide. Vert is miles clear of Saka, but people aren't ready for that conversation. They are not ready for that conversation. They are unprepared. They will deny. But I'm happy Vert is finding his feet. Shadow Guy says, hi, it's me, Johnny. Sorry, Jonathan. I accidentally called you Johnny then. Do you have multiple accounts? That's pretty cool. I feel like I should get multiple accounts, because then that would make me cool like you. Currently, I am uncool because I have one. Yeah, I figured that was the order. Frimpong hits it over. That's a good point. Liverpool are 12 games unbeaten, including this game. And they have been unbeaten since they changed the system. Since a certain forward was dropped. Since then, they've been unbeaten. Oh, what I mean is, says Isabel, as a person who watched all of them and they got put forward for the Ballon d'Or straight up, Van Dijk and Salah are 10 times the player that Owen was. Yeah, I think with the Owen situation, he just kind of burst onto the scene, and it was more maybe about how he burst onto the scene that might have had a factor in it, maybe. But I almost feel like it's a bit of a unfair test because I feel like back in the day, the Ballon d'Or was less of a deal than it is these days. But in terms of purely on ability, yes, I agree. Van Dijk and Salah um, would run rings around him. Jonathan says, "Why is a Man United fan crying and saying he's not Johnny? That is you." Kobe Mainoo played 97 minutes. Wow. Is that his first 97 minutes of the year? The summer manager market will erupt. Oh boy. Rumours around Guardiola, Company, Maresca, Glasner, Slot, Thomas Frank, Xabi Alonso. I mean, all these names, as a football team, that's actually quite a good team. I know there's no goalkeeper there, but you got Company in defense, you got Guardiola in midfield, Guardiola Alonso double pivot. Oh, you got Xavi in there as well. I mean, just as a team, if you roll back the years, that's pretty good. Just add a goalkeeper on top. Luis Enrique has rejected a new contract. Who would you want for the Reds? Zame wants a Slot out generally, which is fine because, to be honest, so do I. But if you had your pick, obviously not Guardiola, but if you had your pick, who would you take? Fish is saying Rui Patricio just randomly. I love shopping. It's the only thing that gets me out. My favorite shop ever is Tesco. You've got that in common. You've got that in common with Fish. Fish's favorite shop is Tesco. Tesco's cool. Tesco's cool. Yeah. If you don't like heat and prefer cold, the saunas are not for you. Yeah. It's not. It's a bit of a weird one because the saunas are very popular in Budapest, but yeah, it's not. Wouldn't be my thing. I'm more of a cold weather type of guy. Ah, yes, indeed. Very to the point. If it's two, Messi versus Ronaldo, it's a duopoly, not a monopoly. A common linguistic error that I must profusely apologize for. Duopoly would be the correct terminology. Is there such a thing as a triopoly? I don't believe that's a thing, but yeah, duopoly is the one. Mr. Default is excited. Oh, Verts! Ooh, close. Sorry. Is excited for Salah to return because that might be when Liverpool go downhill. but at least he's honest. Van Dijk or Vidic? I'll be honest, Van Dijk everything. Van Dijk every single day. Dune says, "Do you think Rodrigo and Vinny could come to Liverpool?" I'd say there's a very, very low chance of that happening. If it had to be one, I'd say Rodrigo is maybe slightly more likely, but you're looking at Vinicius maybe 5% likely. Rodrigo maybe 40-50%. I'd say their wages make that a bit unlikely, and given how they got on with Alonso, I doubt that. Lewis inquire to Man United. Man United will inquire. And Lewis will say, "Thank you for your query and thank you for inquiring. My name is Lewis and no thank you." But the thing is with United, as annoying as it is, and I think I think Liverpool also have this trait. No matter how rubbish they are, because of the history of clubs like Liverpool, clubs like United, no matter how rubbish they are, they will always be in for top managers. I'll be honest, I hope you get Poch because I think Poch is awful. So I hope you get him. M&S is great. M&S is great. I can't lie. Expensive, but you get what you pay for. I'd rank M&S above Waitrose. M&S is the one. But again, it's expensive, but some good stuff in there. Grace likes Bruno, not Mars, but he's not the GOAT. Who is the GOAT? Is Taylor Swift the GOAT? Jonathan is saying 6-7, probably 67 times. Ooh, they've just cleared it off the line in terms of Burnley. But yeah, what are your thoughts on Taylor Swift? Is Taylor Swift the GOAT or who is the GOAT? You have to tell me who the GOAT is. We need to sell or Mbappe. I'll be honest, I don't see Mbappe coming to Liverpool. I think from a centre forward perspective, Liverpool are probably sorted for a few years with Isak and Ekitike. Mbappe's wages, apparently, he's on about £1 million a week, so about £1 million a week. So I don't see it happening, but it's not impossible. Jonathan wants me. Do you want me to pin your 6-7? Give me a second. Where is that web browser? Here you go. I'm not even logged in. Give me a second. Jonathan wants me to pin his 6-7. Which stream are you on? Let me find you. Oh Jesus Christ, man! You've done 1,000 of them. I'll just pick one of them. But there's already a pin message. I can't unpin Steven's message. Do you want to put 6-7 in the other stream? I can pin it on the other stream. The vertical one. Oh, is 6-7 not cool anymore? What's the latest thing? Is it 6-8 or is it something else? Isabel says Aldi and Lidl supremacy over here. Aldi I love. I really like Aldi. I've never quite been able to get into Lidl so much, but Aldi is fantastic. Especially the frozen section. The frozen section at Aldi is very good. The fruit is good as well. Zaim says the Arsenal result has tempered my slat out opinions. I'm more amicable towards the idea of waiting till the summer to see how far we get. If not, I would want Nagelsmann after the World Cup. Fair enough. Yeah, it's kind of what I was saying in terms of I didn't like the idea of an interim. I appreciate people wanted change, but quite a few people said just get Gerrard as an interim, and I was like, absolutely not. Let's see if this elite manager can turn things around. And if the elite manager cannot turn things around, let's get another elite manager in the summer. I'd be happy. I'd be happy with Alonso. I'd be happy with Enrique. I don't know why Fish is being mean today. He's not. He's in a foul mood. He's in a foul mood. Yeah, you do not want Poch. I do not understand how that man has such a reputation for somebody who has achieved essentially nothing. And I do count winning the league with PSG and that squad as nothing. He's achieved nothing. I don't know why that guy has such a reputation. I don't get it. Got to a final with Spurs, and what? Isabel says Jones has been playing really well of late. Him, Florian Wirtz and Dominic and Gravenberg work really well together. I'd say it's the strongest mid in the Prem. It's good because it provides an extra body in there. So you got Wirtz, Szoboszlai, Gravenberg and Jones. It just provides an extra body in there. if we cast our mind back maybe to the start of the season, it would be 3 of those. And you could say if Wirtz is trying to if Wirtz is trying to do a bit of a free roll, then it exposes the 2 who remain. But I think having an extra body in midfield, I think, and you could argue the extra body is Jones, it frees up the other 3, which is always nice. It's crazy how footballers reject 100k a week when minimum wage workers earn just under £500 a week. It is crazy. It is the wages of football are just out of control, aren't they? It's one of those things we've been saying for years and years, but it almost feels like the wages for the average footballer, they are appreciating at a much higher rate than the wages for the average minimum wage worker, the average restaurant worker, the average supermarket worker. It's just that the football wages are appreciating at a rate that is far in excess. Would you rather have a magic wand or magic ring? Magic ring, because then I don't have to hold it. I don't know who the GOAT is, says Grace, but not Bruno. There's better singers. Make some recommendations. Most of the music I listen to, I can't lie, it's from when I was younger. So it's mostly from, say, the 2000s. That's most of the stuff I listen to. Although Sabrina Carpenter's quite funny. That song, Tears. That's a good song. Fish says, can you do Villa Everton tomorrow? I'll try. I'll try my best. The Red says, how did Man U win against Man City? It is a mystery to us all. I was tempted to put it down to new manager bounce, but I feel like that might be a bit unfair. To be honest with you, I haven't seen the match, but apparently they dominated. Apparently they had a few goals that were disallowed. And then I'm like, look, if you really dominated them to that extent, it would feel unfair of me to dismiss that and just say, you know what, new manager bans. Even though that's probably part of the reason, but I've not seen it, but I'm going to try watching the highlights today. 6-7 should it even have been a meme? It's just 2 numbers. It is just 2 numbers. I didn't understand it for a long time, and I'm not sure I still understand it. People would just type it, and I would say 67. What is that? What is 67? Do you not mean 69? Like what is this about? Oh my God! Konate just almost kicks it into his own goal, but thankfully the goal has a giant Brazilian in there. But I don't know what Konate is playing at there. I tend to go to them and many specialist shops as I was a chef. So to make all my food, yeah, I'm keeping the little dogs alive. Sounds like a good plan. I don't have a Lidl near me. I to be fair, if there was one near me, I would definitely check it out. Konate almost kicked it into his own goal there, but thankfully Alisson was there. I do have an Aldi, and yeah, it's good. It is good. You eat broccoli for lunch now. Which reminds me, I've got a ton of broccoli in my freezer and I don't know what to do with it. I might make a steak or something, or have it with that. Yeah, why is Grace hated? Grace is literally the nicest person. I think Fish is just messing. Luis Enrique is probably the best manager at the moment, but I feel like he gets bored quick when he gets a cup. We don't want that. We don't want to enter a relationship with Enrique and then some other club walks past in a short skirt and suddenly Enrique is looking at that club. That is absolutely not what we want. We want loyalty. I'm not saying he has to get married to us, but some level of loyalty would be great. And from a footballing perspective, you'd want a certain degree of stability. Jonathan says, "Take my wand. I'd rather not, and I believe that may be illegal." Yeah, it is wild. Just the extent and the degree to which. Oh, for fuck's sake! The fucking Clans have fucking scored, man. Sorry. I didn't even see it. I just saw like a Burnley player through on the left. Who's that guy in the Burnley bench? He looks like Jude Bellingham. But Edwards has scored. Oh, Kanate, can we just pay the 300 grand a week for Mark Gay? I mean, how about this? Liverpool offered 200 grand a week, and the rest of us put our money together, and then we can offer 200 grand a week plus about £50. But hopefully that should be enough to convince Mark Gay, because Kanate gets absolutely nowhere near him. You know, sometimes you're just holding on, waiting for it to be disallowed by VAR. I don't think it is. It's 1-1, but to be honest, the chat is more interesting than watching this bunch of frauds. So let's see where I got to. Yeah, Jonathan was telling me to take his wand, and I said I would not recommend that. Grace's favorite singers are Freddie Mercury, Michael Jackson, the Beatles. Some quite good choices there. What about Pavarotti? Or one of the, I believe he was a tenor. Or am I being too pretentious there? Lido more than Aldi. Nah, Aldi better than Lido. But to be fair, I don't have a Lido near me. I used to go when I was a kid back in the day. But Aldi I like. He absolutely does not eat Coronation chicken. I'm still haunted by that stream we did about Coronation chicken. That stuff was bright yellow. Ibu needs to go straight up. He does. It's just the fact that he was so far away. And how can you be that far away from an attacking player? Are you not awake? Are you asleep? Yeah, you were right, to be fair. And I was like, nah. Actually, you know what? It's been better. So I've been made to look silly, but let's be honest, it's not the first time, and it won't be the last. But that was brainless by Kanate. Grace is not a nerd. I'll admit I am a nerd, but Grace is not a nerd. That's what I was thinking, as Isabel is saying. I want Xabi Alonso personally, him and Frimpong and Wirtz again. That amazing connection, which, number one, not only broke the, I was going to say broke the Bayern dynasty, but that doesn't make sense. It won a league in a league that had Bayern Munich in it. It not only did that, but it also went unbeaten. Grace has a 75-inch TV at home. Is this the one that you got at Christmas and you were saying you were going to hang it on the wall? Have you gotten around to that? Mr. Default has never I'm normally it depends what kind of day I'm having, to be honest. The thing is, I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 7 recently, so it's the effing and blinding is at the forefront of my brain. Yeah, not good. Fish says, yay, Burnley scored. Jonathan says, I don't even have a TV. I have a TV, but to be honest, these days I don't even watch it that much. Yeah, I think with the Mark Gahey thing, apparently they're offering him 300 grand a week. So I presume what happened is City offered him 300 grand a week because of Ruben Diaz's injury. And then his agent probably went back to Liverpool and said, "Hey guys, you're right. Hope you're good. Hope you had a nice Christmas. Mark is being offered 300 grand a week. Can you match that or can you top that?" And Liverpool said, "No, thank you." And then he just ended up at City. I'm mildly annoyed at the situation, but I'm more annoyed they did not sort it last year when they had the chance. You did say 3-1 to be fair. So you could be right. I said 1-0, so I'll be wrong. Pochettino once likened Marcus Edwards to Messi. I guess he's a great manager overall. I would love United to get Poch or Southgate because I feel like both of those end negatively. I don't think they'll get Alonso. Somebody was saying Alonso the other day, and I was thinking they won't get Alonso. He's a former Liverpool player, but the Enriques of the world, they are. I think they are a possibility. Liverpool should not sign Lindelof and Sancho. What is Lindelof even doing these days? Has he got a club? You haven't put it up yet. Fair enough. United battered City, Liverpool drawing Burnley. There are levels to this game. I can't even complain, to be honest. This is why I was not looking forward to this game. I was purely looking forward to the chat. Let's see what they're made of. Zaim says, Xabi Alonso rejected us for Madrid and you want him to come around. That's a good point. That was my first reaction. My first reaction when this happened was, no, I don't want him because he didn't want us at first. So why should we take him now? Like I just feel like the fallback guy, like he went for somebody else. And now that didn't work for him. Now you're coming back to us, or now you want us. That was my initial reaction. And then when I thought about it, I did soften that stance to a certain degree. He needs another club first to earn the Liverpool job back. I think it's a fair viewpoint to have there. I think it's a fair viewpoint to have. I'll be honest. If he joins Liverpool, I would be excited, but it's. I think that's a fair viewpoint to have. Arsenal says, "Oh my God, what happened? 1-1. Liverpool happened because Liverpool are garbage. Liverpool cannot defend. It was a through ball, and Kanate is good at a lot of things. But one thing he's not good at is this thing called defending. And when the ball came through, he said, "Je ne voudrais pas close down le défense." Basically, he just refused to close down the player. Player ran through, smacked it in, 1-1. Yeah, somebody was saying it the other day. I can't remember who. And no, it was a news story. It was Football 365. It was that website, Football 365, and I don't know if that website's clickbait or not. It used to be good back in the day, but I was like, yeah, that's not going to happen. That's like Rio Ferdinand becoming Liverpool manager. That's not sad, but when I have a 10 out of 10 baddie come over and she doesn't live at my house, that's sad. But at least she came over. That's a positive. Is Lindelof at Villa? And is he actually playing or Is he a bench player? Grace says, yeah, we're just chatting away. To be honest, you lot chatting away is way more interesting. It's way more interesting than this game. Can we see Rio, please? Rio and Gamoa. Jonathan says, I hate him for no reason. I don't hate you. I quite like you. The joke you came out the other day was really funny. When Grace was talking about darts and you said something along the lines of, if Barcelona lose, can you throw those darts at me? That was good. Yeah, it's like Trent is. Sorry, I said his name by accident. It's like 66 is trying to do all the. Ooh, good shot by Gakpo, but say 66 is trying to do all the things that can make him the most hated. After that, he'll probably join Everton. But yeah, it's that website just makes things up. Your ex broke up with you on text. That is savage. What did you respond with? You should have said... Actually, I don't know what you'd say. Sign below. No, thank you. I'm good. I mean, we need fullbacks now that Conor Bradley is out, but not that desperate. I'd rather sign you. Sabazlai. Ooh, Jones. Just wide. Yeah, it's like that. Yeah, like I don't know, Rashford to Liverpool or Saka, Bukayo Saka to Man United. It's just when players have that deep a link to a club, you just don't see them joining a rival team. Ekatike. Oh, he scored. He scored. They're complaining about... Oh, Ekatike is pulling his shorts up and we can see his underpants. His underpants are white. But it's been disallowed. Like, bro, don't pull your shorts up that high that we can see brain coming out the sides. I just want to see your footballing brain. I don't want to see any other brain. But I believe it's given as a handball. Waiting to see the replay. Yeah, fair enough. I think that's fair. I think that's fair as a handball. Fish is sorry. What are you sorry for? Rio and McAllister coming on. Good positive subs. I can see Gakpo running off now. Robertson also, which is interesting. So Rio, McAllister, and Robertson coming on. Gakpo off. I was going to say the Lord works in mysterious ways, but if Gakpo's coming off, then the Lord works in obvious ways. McAllister's on. McAllister looks like he's just woken up. What's going on with his hair? Jonathan says, if you like me, then kiss me. Well, that is a novel ultimatum. I'm not quite sure what I can do about that. Zaim says, the last time the Reds won, none of their 3 home games against promoted sides in the league was 80-81. I mean, that's even before I was born. And if it's before I was born, then you know that's a while back. This is what worried me because a lot of people were hyping up Liverpool. And I said this at the start. I was saying Liverpool's good performance were against Wolverhampton, who are dog turd, and Barnsley, who are, I believe, 18th in the third tier. Good pass by Wirtz. Frimpong cross. McAllister. Oh, just hits it over. There you go. You play right back. That's all we need. Steven's real name is Stefan. Close. Is Stefan like the how they pronounce Stephen in certain linguistics? My nose is bruised but not broken. No triopoly is not a word. Amen. Good to good to know. So I've learned two things. I've learned Stephen's real name is Stefan. Do you want to be called Stefan or Stephen? And I had a feeling, to be fair, that triopoly was not a word. Jonathan is as straight as the pole that I... What does 9N mean? Does that mean you're straight as the pole that I dance on? But it'd be quite hard to dance on a pole that was not straight. So many offsides today. 2 in this game, 1 in the Chelsea game that I know of, and 3 in the United game. Yeah, I mean, if these players who we concluded earlier are overpaid, if they could just stay on side, then there's a lot of fans who'd be a lot happier. Rio, with a bit of trickery and crosses it in. Figo, Barcelona to Real Madrid was mad. There's a whole backstory to it. Oh, God! Ekitike missed from about 5 centimeters. There's a whole backstory to that. And I remember watching a video on it many years back where I don't know if I'm remembering this wrong, but I feel like it was part of a bet. It was part of a bet, and then something happened, and then Real Madrid had to buy him because of something happened. But it was crazy to go from Barcelona straight to Real Madrid. Figo was the best Portuguese winger Real Madrid ever had. Actually, no, he wasn't. Mr. Default found out that Mbeumo is 5'7". He's 5'7" when he lies down on his stomach because his ass is 5'7" tall. Grace is Grace is alive and well. Cross by Robertson, and nothing happens. Everyone trash talking Liverpool, myself included. But yeah, still to the top 4. Just about. Can you live without Umar? I can't. That's a good question. Oh, it is a word. Interesting. Does that mean 3 dominant players in a particular space? Mo Scout says, how are we feeling about this 1-1? Not great, to be honest. Not great. I don't think I could handle another draw. Yet another draw. What's annoying? What is annoying about draws is it lets people say it lets them continue the notion that Liverpool are unbeaten. Liverpool are unbeaten because it's a draw. I don't think a draw is acceptable. Not that anything will happen if there is a draw. Yeah, like I've heard, I don't know if I've got that wrong, but I swear there was something in this about it being a bet. Mo Scout says Perez wants to sign Haaland for 500 million. I mean, how's that even going to look? Is he going to play Haaland and Mbappe and Vinicius up top together? I almost feel like Haaland is too pure a soul. He's too pure a soul to play for that team. Double the amount of Neymar to PSG, as Mo Scout says, which in itself was crazy at the time and still feels crazy. Jonathan says, can you shake me till you wake me up from this bad dream? Baby, ooh, my baby, ooh, my. I mean, I can try my best, but I'm making no promises. Fish is done, but apparently that was for me. I mean, I wish it wasn't for me, but apparently it was. I think Mr. Default might be messing, which is fine. Jay says, what do you think it takes for Slot to get the sack? Realistically, what I think is going to happen is they're going to wait till the end of the season. And if he does not get Champions League, he'll get the sack. Even if he gets Champions League, but there is a elite manager available, he'll probably still get the sack. But to keep it simple, if he doesn't get Champions League, I think they'll sack him. No matter how much they say they care about X, no matter how much they say they care about Y, no matter how much they say they care about Z, ultimately they pretty much just care about the finances. Mr. Default is so happy Amorim's gone. I'm not happy, but I'm glad somebody is. Oh! Mr. Default thinks if he talks out against the board, that could do it. That could do it, as it did with Amorim. He seems to be very tight. He seems to be very kind of very tight with the board. They seem to be besties. I think they got each other on WhatsApp and Snapchat. Pretty sure Arne Slot has a Snapchat streak going with Richard Hughes. So I think they get on really well. I think it will probably come down to performance. Yeah, why do they keep saying R.I.P. Grace? Grace is alive and well. Now you've got Mr. Default saying it on TikTok as well. R.I.P. Grace. At this point, I feel like a plane is going to go over Anfield and it's going to say R.I.P. Grace in the sky. Angry Ninja is correct. You should change your name to Correct Ninja. Oh my God, Chiesa's got a black eye. Did Angry Ninja kick him in the face? Why's Chiesa got a black eye? Why's Chiesa got a black eye? Has he been in a fight? Been in a fight with a manager? James says, if we are far from top 5, Slot will get sacked early. That's a good point. But as long as we scrape through, Slot will stay and see if we can fix the squad in the summer or get a new manager then. Yeah, Liverpool traditionally are a club that do not make important decisions based on emotion. So I think I'd say if I don't know, if you get to March and Liverpool are 10th or something, that they might make a decision then. But I think a lot of the decision is dependent on when the replacement wants to come in. If the replacement is Alonso might say, I don't want to come in at the end of a season. I want to have a full pre-season. I want to have a full window. So there might be a dependency on when the replacement wants to come in. Liverpool don't strike me as a club that would hire an interim manager. They're a bit more structured than that. They go from full-time manager to the next full-time manager. So I'd say there's a dependency on when the replacement wants to come in. Most Scout says, I'm not happy. Amorim is gone. Yeah, we won against City and we got them out of the title race. I hope not. But I still think Amorim would have done the same. To be honest, it's tough to say. It's tough to say. But I do agree. I'm not happy Amorim is gone. Purely because I don't think you would have won anything significant with Amorim. But if you are to get, say, a Luis Enrique or somebody, I'll be a bit worried. Nuno Mendes is quality, would be expensive. Mo Scout is playing career mode with Dortmund. I can just say this is the same as in real life. Is that EAFC? Apparently that's on sale at the moment. I've not really played it since FIFA days. Managers do get sacked far too fast. Especially, and I appreciate it varies from club to club. So that's kind of one thing I quite like about Liverpool. They will not overreact. They will give a manager the right amount of time, but they will get rid of him when the time is right. And I think a good example of that is probably Brendan Rodgers. Grace says, bro, I'm not loved. Can we be more nice to Grace, please? Grace is the nicest person. I don't know. He's saying Liverpool 2-1. Mr. Default was saying Burnley 2-1. I'm just... to be honest, anytime someone mentions a score, I'm like, uh-huh. Okay, we will... we will wait and see. That's literally worse than telling somebody that you hate them. How many minutes of injury time? Somebody's got a booking. Is Allison getting booked or what? How much? Just 7 minutes. Oh, thank the Lord for that. 7 minutes. 30 shots. I'll be honest. I don't remember all 30. Oh God, we have become Harry Maguire FC. Stick it long to Van Dijk. It's not a bad suggestion, but it is a damning reflection of of the times. But in terms of a suggestion, I'd give it a go. Yeah, I think I was yeah, that was Mr. Default that said R.I.P. But does it count as me saying it if I'm reading it out? They just said it on comms about the 30 shots. I have it muted. That's probably why. Oh, 7 minutes, man. Chiesa. Has anybody figured out why Chiesa has a gigantic black eye? Liverpool free kick. I'm running out of energy. That's the Jurgen Klopp meme. My timer is off from what I'm actually watching. It's about 20 seconds off, but that's what I was thinking. Well, my first idea was maybe he got the black eye escaping from the prison that he's in. I believe the manager locks him in a cellar after training, and that cellar is guarded by Konate. But the good thing about Konate guarding the cellar is that as the guard, he falls asleep, as we see today on the pitch. So when Konate fell asleep, Chiesa escaped, but has a bruise. Oh, don't let them score. Okay. All good. Yeah, they are. They're just messing. Harry says, hello, how are you? Well, I've had better days. But I've also had worse days. But all good other than that. How are you? How's things going? Good win for you today against City. But more importantly, have you played any new games recently? I've just been playing Black Ops 7, to be honest with you. It's kept me entertained and it's kept me sane. That is a good goal to be liked. Yeah, they were just messing, to be honest. Gak post will always be funny. I don't know. Says 2-1 Ekatike. I mean, I doubt that, but there you go. A bit of positivity. Which is good to see. even though it's 7 minutes, Liverpool don't seem to be badgering the door. If Liverpool don't seem to be badgering the door, if you know what I mean. Harry is happy 2-0. I've also been in goal today, saved a lot of them. I've played Red Dead 1. I saw you uploaded a playthrough of Red Dead Redemption. But yeah, hope there's no more injuries. Hope everything is well. Rio to Ekatike. Chiesa. I mean, I guess you can predict nothing happened from that. Yeah, he keeps saying that we've scored. I know we haven't scored. Steven says, "Can you do a live chat from Budapest? Otherwise, I have to watch TNT Sports." I would love to, but unfortunately, my schedule is pretty jam packed. So I'm gonna have to give my apologies for Wednesday. But the positive is I will be back on Saturday. I don't know. He's saying I have to cope with this. You keep doing it. What do you mean you have to cope with it? you are the perpetrator. You're like I have to cope with this thing that I'm responsible for. Life is so unfair. If I could just stop doing this thing that I'm doing, life would be easier. Yeah, see. McAllister hits it over. Possibly hits the International Space Station with that shot. But if the ball continues on its trajectory, he might hit the moon, because what the hell are you doing? I believe this is going to be a draw. I mean, it's very easy to say that when it's 7 minutes of injury time and we're on 97 minutes. So it's very easy for me to say that, but Steven, also known as Stefan, says, "I haven't played a computer game since Tetris on the N64. Wow. That's going back a fair amount of time. Games have progressed slightly since then. Ever so slightly. But Tetris was great. Something I liked about the older games, they were a lot more simple. A draw with 18th. Don't tell me they're in 18th position. I was kind of feeling whatever about this, but if they're in 18th, then I'm a bit more miffed. So yeah, that was rubbish. That was shite. We've got Kanati to thank for that. So thanks, Ibu. Are Liverpool going to do something in the next game? Who knows? This is what annoys me about the 14 games unbeaten, 17 games unbeaten, 360 games unbeaten. Who cares if you're 360 games unbeaten if 350 of those were draws? Draw. I'm all for positivity, but eventually positivity becomes misleading. Like, yes, it's true to say they're unbeaten, but it's also misleading to say that, because a lot of those were draws. This is the game they should be winning. Thank Burnley, we're 5th now. This team is hopeless. 19th, great. I feel even better now. Thank you. You're going to say 20th soon, and then I'll feel even worse. The role of a manager is becoming more and more segmented. Slot is a head coach, but I can see this become segmented. Oh my God, even more segmented. Even more kind of segmented than that. So you'd have a media coach and a tactics coach. Never say never say never. So you'd have a leadership team whereby one person is responsible for the media side and one person is responsible for the pitch side. Never say never. Take care, Grace. Enjoy your week. See you next week. Just an idea. I mean, it could happen. But back in the day, people would have found the idea of a head coach versus a sporting, like head coach and sporting director. People would have found that kind of idea crazy. So this kind of thing, where you have kind of more of a face of the management and then more of a back office, it's almost as if Gerrard is working on the shop floor, but Alonso's working in the warehouse. It's a bit like that. Could happen. I at this point, I'm just so bored. I'm just so bored of this team. Like I was saying at the start, I'd rather they win. But if they don't win, I'd rather they were exciting. And if they're not exciting, at the very least make me laugh, give me some sort of positive emotion. But there's very little to take from watching this team, other than feeling like they wasted 90 minutes of your time. Benfica are unbeaten in Portugal, but are third in the league due to draws. That league must be very close then, from a points tally perspective. Benfica, I've never forgiven Benfica for ripping us off with a certain Uruguayan striker. They've been on my naughty list ever since. Yeah, that's the thing. Even the wins, and I appreciate some people. Like, I appreciate you're happy when we win, and I'm happy when we win, but it's boring as hell. And again, I'd love to win, but if you don't win, at least give me something exciting. And if you can't give me exciting, at least make me laugh. But there's just none of that. But anyway, Champions League on Tuesday, which I'm gonna miss because I'm not here. But I'll be back on Saturday. So have a nice week. I will see you next week when I will be in this same spot. That's my fault. I have not stopped the timer. There we go. Yeah, I don't know when the next Liverpool game is. If it's Saturday or Sunday. LFC fixtures. Bournemouth. We keep playing teams beginning with B. It's Burnley. Sorry, it was Barnsley, Burnley, and then Bournemouth. But anyway, I'm gonna go. I'll be back next Saturday at 5:30 because that's when the kickoff is. Enjoy your weekend. Take care.